I have a series of suggestions to share. Not rules, not routines, just practical and slightly unexpected ideas that can quietly improve how you feel in your body and in your day. Think of them as small adjustments that don't demand discipline but reward attention. Staying healthy doesn't always come from big changes. Often, it comes from choices so simple they almost feel irrelevant, and yet they work because the body understands them immediately. One of these suggestions is choosing clothes made from natural fibers, like 100% cotton. It's not about style or trends, it's about letting the skin breathe, reducing constant micro irritations, and lowering a background level of stress the body carries without asking. The nervous system notices these things even when you don't. Another suggestion is drinking something warm at a specific moment in the afternoon, like tea around 5. Not for tradition or aesthetics, but because warmth slows the system down, supports digestion, and creates a natural pause without needing to label it as rest. Health often improves when you give the body signals instead of instructions. Light is another powerful lever. Getting natural light as early as possible, even just opening a window and looking outside for a minute, helps the brain synchronize for the day. In the evening, dimming lights earlier than you think you should tells the body it's safe to decelerate. No app needed.
Eating more slowly is another underestimated suggestion. Chewing well isn't about manners, it's about chemistry. Digestion starts in the mouth, and rushing meals confuses the system, often leading to fatigue or discomfort later. Slowing down while eating is a form of internal hygiene. Walking without a destination is also surprisingly effective. It lowers mental vigilance and gives the brain space to reorganize information. It's movement without performance, and the body responds well to that. Changing positions often during the day matters more than intense workouts done occasionally. Sitting on the floor for a bit, stretching without a plan, leaning against a wall, these are signals of adaptability. The body prefers variation over perfection. Fresh air is another simple tool. Opening windows multiple times a day improves focus and sleep quality. Oxygen is an old technology, but it still works extremely well. Keeping a water bottle you genuinely like nearby increases hydration without effort. Drinking more is rarely about discipline, it's about convenience and attraction. Using smaller plates can also help without feeling restrictive. The brain reads the container before it evaluates the content. Reducing constant background noise is another quiet health move. TVs on without watching, endless notifications, low-level sounds keep the nervous system slightly alert all the time. Silence isn't empty, it's restorative. Taking care of your feet is more important than it sounds. Comfortable shoes, warm feet, walking barefoot when possible improve posture, circulation, and even mood. The body is a connected system. Discomfort travels. Laughing more often helps too, even if it's not spontaneous. A smile sends real signals to the brain, and the body doesn't always care if it's intentional or automatic. Writing by hand occasionally, even something trivial, slows thinking and makes it more manageable.
Mental and physical health operate in the same space. Eating while seated, not standing or distracted by screens, changes digestion and awareness. The body likes being acknowledged. Releasing jaw tension during the day is another subtle but powerful adjustment. Many people carry stress there without realizing it. Relaxing it lowers internal volume. Sleeping on sheets you truly like improves sleep more than many techniques. Comfort communicates safety. Keeping your hands warm in cold weather conserves energy. Eating meals with similar colors now and then simplifies choices and encourages slower eating without rules. Using scents you enjoy, not the ones you think you should like, can shift mood quickly because smell is directly linked to memory and emotion. Making your bed reasonably tidy creates a sense of stability. The brain registers immediately. Drinking water before coffee supports digestion and steadier energy. Looking at distant points regularly relaxes the eyes and the mind, especially after screens. Talking out loud to yourself can help organize thoughts. It's not strange, it's regulation. Having roughly consistent meal times gives the body predictability, which it values. Standing still for a few minutes, doing nothing, can be deeply restorative. Sleeping in a slightly cooler room improves sleep quality naturally. Speaking less when you're tired protects energy and relationships. Visual order in your workspace reduces cognitive load. Changing sides of the bed occasionally can subtly refresh perception. Pairing slow music with fast tasks or energetic music with slow ones balances the system. Checking the clock constantly creates pressure. Smaller utensils, slow eating gently. Breathing through the nose more often calms the system. Ending showers with a few seconds of cooler water boosts circulation and mood without suffering. Taking shoes off when you get home signals safety. Having a plant nearby improves air and attention, but also communicates life. Eating in silence sometimes allows the body to be heard. Gentle daily back movements matter more than sporadic intensity. And maybe the most important suggestion of all is this: stop treating health as a project to complete. Health is a relationship. It responds best to small, consistent, imperfect care. When you approach it with curiosity instead of control, the body responds. Always.
There are a few more suggestions worth adding, the kind that don't announce themselves as healthy, but quietly make everything work a little better. One of them is paying attention to transitions. The moments between activities are usually ignored, yet they're where the body resets. Taking 10 seconds before switching tasks, standing up, breathing once deeply, or simply changing rooms helps the nervous system close one loop before opening another. This reduces that low-level tension that builds up when days feel rushed, even if nothing dramatic is happening. Another suggestion is to protect your mornings from unnecessary input, not by following strict rules, but by delaying noise. Fewer words, fewer screens, fewer opinions early on give the mind a chance to organize itself before reacting to the world. Health improves when the brain isn't immediately put on defense. There's also value in eating the same simple breakfast for periods of time. Not because variety is bad, but because predictability lowers cognitive load. When the mind makes fewer decisions, it preserves energy for more important things. Choosing foods that feel familiar and comforting can be surprisingly stabilizing. Another underestimated suggestion is temperature awareness. Noticing when you're too cold or too warm and adjusting quickly instead of tolerating discomfort makes a difference. The body interprets prolonged discomfort as stress, even if you've learned to ignore it. Taking care of temperature is basic, but it's also intelligent. Stretching first thing in the morning, even for 1 minute, helps signal that the body is awake and safe to move. It doesn't need to be structured or impressive. The body responds to intention, not performance. Another quiet suggestion is to keep evenings slightly boring, not empty, just calmer. Repeating familiar activities, dim lighting, predictable sounds help the nervous system prepare for rest. Stimulation, late at night, has a cost that's usually paid the next day. Health improves when nights are allowed to be uneventful. Spending a few minutes each day doing something useless but pleasant, like organizing books by color or watering plants slowly, gives the brain non-productive satisfaction. This kind of satisfaction is grounding and often overlooked. Another suggestion is to stop tightening your shoulders without realizing it. Checking in with them occasionally and letting them drop reduces physical stress and mental fatigue. The body often holds tension out of habit, not necessity. Choosing to eat fruit at room temperature instead of straight from the fridge can improve digestion for some people. Small details like this make the system's job easier. Health often improves when you reduce friction instead of adding effort. Another useful suggestion is to sit facing a window whenever possible. Natural light and depth of field reduce eye strain and mental fatigue. Even indirect sunlight changes how alert and calm you feel. Using fewer open tabs, both literally and mentally, is another form of hygiene.
Closing things you're not using reduces background stress. The mind notices open loops even if you pretend not to. Another suggestion is to avoid stacking stimulation. Music, screens, food, and conversation at the same time overload the system. Choosing one main stimulus makes experiences more digestible. Health improves when experiences are simpler. Drinking water slowly instead of all at once helps absorption and avoids stressing digestion. The body prefers steady input over sudden floods. Another subtle suggestion is to wear slightly looser clothing at home. Physical ease signals psychological ease. Tightness keeps the system alert even when rest is intended. Taking a few deep breaths through the nose before speaking in stressful situations improves clarity and reduces reactivity. It's a small pause with a big effect. Another overlooked detail is eye contact with yourself. Looking in the mirror briefly, without judgment, reinforces presence. The brain registers recognition. Health is supported when the system feels seen. Tidying one small area instead of the whole space prevents overwhelm and still creates order. The body responds better to completion than ambition. Another suggestion is to eat something crunchy once a day. Chewing provides sensory regulation and can reduce tension. It's simple and surprisingly effective. Choosing to walk slightly slower than everyone else sometimes reduces pressure and keeps breathing regular. Not everything needs to be optimized for speed. Health improves when pace is intentional. Another suggestion is to lower volume instead of turning things off completely.
Gradual reduction is easier for the nervous system than abrupt silence. Ending the day by recalling one neutral or pleasant moment, not necessarily a big win, helps the brain balance perspective. It trains attention without forcing positivity. Keeping your phone slightly out of reach during conversations improves connection and reduces cognitive strain. The mind relaxes when it's not half alert. Another suggestion is to avoid extreme temperatures in food and drinks when tired. Lukewarm or moderate sensations are easier to process. Health often improves when inputs are gentle. Finally, remember that none of these suggestions are mandatory. Their power comes from flexibility, not consistency. You don't need to do all of them, and you don't need to do them perfectly. The body doesn't respond to rules, it responds to care. When care is small, realistic, and slightly imperfect, it's more likely to last.
And when it lasts, health stops feeling like something you chase and starts feeling like something that quietly supports you day after day without asking for much in return.